Hello, Donna. Really appreciate you taking time out of your evening. I know it's late for you to come on for this interview. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Ruckus. Thank you for actually having me on. It's a pleasure. Um, Look, it's it's been crazy the last few days actually, with all the revenue and everything just going like blowing up through the roof. Really opened my eyes to what e-com actually is as a whole, and how it is a profitable industry, and how there is still a lot of a lot of money out there still to be grabbed. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So to clarify for the audience, you posted a screenshot in the Wins channel that you've generated $20,000 in revenue in the past 3 days, of which 10,000 is profit. Is that correct?
That's correct. So yeah, like over the last 3 days, I've been focusing on organic TikTok. So it's opened my eyes to the whole experience, how TikTok, how everything, social media as a whole can actually go worldwide. So I posted a TikTok. A few days later, it went viral. With it going viral, first couple of days, it was getting like 20 sales. I was like, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that there's no advertising costs and just doing this. Like the third day, bang, through the roof, 100 plus sales. My phone was blowing up. I've never seen so much activity. Like it blew my mind, to say the least, to see what actually the power of the internet actually has on everything. That was such a cool experience. Still gives me goosebumps now thinking about it, because yeah, just it was amazing to see.
How did this all begin for you? What is your backstory?
So look, it began back in, I think, about May 2022. So at the time, I was sort of like learning drop shipping on the side. Like I was in a good paying job, a well paying job actually, and was sort of it wasn't giving me what I wanted anymore. So I wanted something different. I wanted to get out of. I was in construction. I wanted to get out of construction. Like it just didn't feel right for me anymore. So I was studying drop shipping on the side, just watching YouTube videos, researching, like doing a website in the background, slowly but steadily getting it moving. Um, Got to a point where I was sort of like I was like stalled out. Like didn't really know what to do. Then I was just scrolling through TikTok and I see this person, Andrew Tate. I was like, who is Andrew Tate? First thing I did, Google Andrew Tate, read his Wikipedia. I'm like, okay, this guy's like seems all right. But I don't know if I trust this Hustlers University. So I sat on it for a week and I said, if I keep seeing more stuff, look, I'll probably do it. A week went past again, had a look. I was like, all right, this is like sort of becoming like a sign. Third week, yep, I signed up. Best thing I've ever done. What I learned in the first, I reckon, 2 weeks of being with Hustlers just trumped the months of stuff I was trying to learn myself. It didn't make sense. I honestly, I couldn't believe I was sitting there asking professor questions. Like questions were getting answered straight away with detail. Completely, it pushed me forward, pushed me to like where I am today. Um, Once I started in Hustlers, though, I was like, I wasn't making money. I was just learning for like 3 or 4 months. I was just learning, like tried products. Obviously, like some of them failed, test and repeat. Just kept doing that and just trying to fine tune the machine. In that same time, I left my job. I said, like, don't want to do this anymore. So I left it at the end of June, actually. Left, just said, I'm going to focus hands down on this. Had like 10 or 15 grand saved up. Wasn't much, isn't much in the scheme of things, but I thought there is no plan B, plan A. It has to go. It has to work. So I don't want to set myself a big cushion, because if I set myself a big cushion, you become complacent and you become, I don't know, you fall into like a comfort zone. So if you're always on the edge and always sort of stressed and moving forward, it works out. So that's what I did, and it worked out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd say I'm the same kind of person as well. I don't like having a plan B because, as you say, it makes me lazy, makes me complacent, and I hate
Yeah.
the stagnation in my life. I feels like I need to constantly be improving. So
It's
yeah,
true, because I see mates and stuff as well. They always, oh, you need a plan B. What are you going to do if it all fails? So if it's going to fail, I have the failure in my head. That's failing in itself. You shouldn't even have that in your head. It shouldn't even exist. You should just be one set. It's going to work. And if you believe in yourself that much that it's going to work, it's going to work always. Like it's hands down always going to work.
hmm
But some people just don't see it.
And even if it doesn't, you know, you'll still figure out like something else after.
We're
Like
all
there's
still young.
always more to do as long as you don't give up. So
Exactly. I mean, everybody's young. We're at the age now where it's like, you know what? You try and fail like 30, 40 times. Who cares? The worst, honestly, worst case, I get to 45 years old and you know what? At least I tried, didn't work. I'll go back and do the job I was doing. It doesn't phase me. Like at least I tried. I can say, yep, I tried all this and I tried the best I could. It didn't work for me, so it wasn't for me.
mhm. But even through all those failures, there's so many skills you learn, and then those skills
Oh
you
yeah.
don't actually realize in future it could all come together to then work out, if that makes sense.
100%. Yeah. It's not like I wouldn't say it's a past life, but I had like a past, the 6 years of my life I was doing something completely different. Didn't know why I was doing it. It didn't make sense at the time. It was a bad situation I was in with like very like manipulated, it didn't work well. But after those 6 years, I came out of it. I was like, oh, I see why I was in that situation. It's made me learn these skills that I will never lose. And they work just in everyday life. And they're so like, there's something that money can't buy you. Like people go through life and they'll never learn that set of skills or learn how to communicate like that or how to work like that ever. But I learned it and I'm so thankful for it.
Hmm. And now to clarify for the audience, so you quit your 9 to 5 before having started making any kind of income in ecom. It was just what within, did you say 2 weeks or within 1 month of joining
Yeah. So
Hustlers
it was
University?
about a month and a bit after joining Hustlers. Was it
Hmm.
May, June? Yeah, probably a month, maybe about a month. I think it was June or July. It was something, one of the months. I forgot. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it was either June or July. I left, and yeah, it wasn't. It couldn't. It wasn't. It was making me like. It was actually. I would rather not have the money because it was making me sad. Like I was like miserable working there. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be happier if I just leave and then take the risk because if I keep staying here and just being miserable and keep getting drawn into the ground, it's not going to end well. So yeah, I left my well-paying job for econ.
Hmm. And while working, how many hours were you putting into HU or the real world? And then after you quit, how many hours were you putting in?
So I was putting in while I was still there. It was look, I was working 6 days a week, 10-hour days. So I didn't have much time. I think it was probably about 2 hours a night, thereabouts. 2 hours a night. Sundays I'd do probably a bit more, probably 5 or 6. Um, Once I left though, I reckon I was doing, it would have been 12, no, probably 14-hour days for a bit, like for a good, I reckon until easy August, September, maybe. Just flat out on always just looking for a product, fine tuning the website. This is before I sort of like went onto TikTok, like as a creator. Once I started doing that, it was like I was doing more hours. I was like flat out then because I was just every day making at least 3 or 4 videos that would actually go out and then again repeat, find the ones that worked, do it again. So it became into like almost became like a cycle. But
Mhm.
there were very big hours. But then again, with that being said, there was times where there wasn't so many hours because once I built the foundation, it sort of started like once I had the website done, the products that I knew I was doing, it just became all right, make TikToks. And that was like a couple of hours a day, do that. And then yeah,
Okay, so
it worked.
in terms of fully committing yourself, that was a good few months until you found your winning product. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah. Yeah, fully a full good few months of just grinding, just stressing crazy because put I would do test the product and just keep watching my bank balance decrease and nothing come in. And I was like, oh, it's gonna get to a point. I was like, it was a tap out point. I think it was a say I had like I think the last $1,000, I said I was like, that was when I had to really consider what the hell I was gonna do. Never got to that, but like I was at a point where I'm gonna have to tap out at some stage. I'm gonna have nothing, like I can't run ads with nothing. So it got to a point, yeah, and I was actually not, I wasn't far off from it. I was actually down to like I think 6 or 7 grand, and I was like, okay, weird as not weird, but like I was running ads, and I was like, okay, this is the last ad set I'm running, and then I'm done. And then at that time, I said, you know what, I'm going to post a video on TikTok as well. Posted on TikTok like randomly. Was sitting there, but 2 days later, my phone started blowing up. I was like, what is going on? And I was like, oh, it's gone viral. And then it just like that showed me, like it gave me like a little peek through a window. Oh, this is actually like this is legit. Because for some reason in my head, I thought ecom was like a joke, like it was a scam. Because I kept trying and it wasn't working. And then this actually opened the window and I said, nah, this is legit. Like this is something it's got so much potential.
And when you found that winning product, I'm guessing when you said the TikTok blew up, was that your winning product then?
That was, yeah, that was my winning product. So that was one of them. Because I've had a few products that have actually gone, I don't know, like a few, like over the course of the last 6 months, there's been a few products that have actually had spikes in them. So I had one that went off like crazy. Then I had another, one of my other accounts. I posted a TikTok. Fuck, I ended up getting like 13 million views. Like it went through the roof. So that product went like blew off as well. And then I've had other ones that kept getting like 5 or 6 million views, and then those products blew up as well. So I've had like numerous products actually take off, if that makes sense. And then the one that's been giving me the most revenue has been like my winning product. Because I've had like all these numerous ones, all these ones underneath, and then there's one on top of it which just always wins.
So how did your winning product scale?
How to scale?
Yeah.
Scale pretty good, because what I've done is I'm able to not manipulate, I'm able to target. I use the Viagra theory, which is what I learned in Hustlers University. Unless Viagra was originally blood pressure, then it's used for like other stuff now. So I use that theory with the product. This one product was like targeting sleep. I target it for something completely opposite of that, which actually I used, which is funny enough, I actually used it for myself and it worked. So it was like a science. So I tried that, and then that just went through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, would you be able to disclose figures
Yeah.
from when you started advertising?
So I started, now we're in, look, I'm gonna say it was probably started from August. I really like was advertising and stuff. It would have been August. Done 75,000 in revenue. And about half of that is profit.
Okay. So it was really only past 3 days that it truly started taking off,
Yeah.
correct?
Like the last few, like, there was one spike back in August, which gave me, like, gave me, it opened my eyes for it. And then I sort of like steered off ecom for a little bit. There was just other stuff going on, which sort of stepped back from it. Then got back into it hard again, like December. And then, the last 3 days went through the roof. I had like done 20 grand in revenue in 3 days and 10 in profit.
Yep. So who knows how much more that will scale in the next few days as well,
Exactly.
and next month, yeah. Okay. Now I'd like to go on to the community aspect of the real world. Did that
Yeah.
have any impact on you?
Massive. The amount of, you can ask, like the questions you can actually ask, I put in perspective, you can't Google that. Like you can't, there's certain questions you need answered with, like, just for example, like something you do with Facebook ads, like whatever it is, you can go look through the troubleshooting and face. I've done this before, and you can spend hours looking and have no actual answer. Whereas in the real world, you just punch in, I'm having trouble with this, couple of screenshots, exactly, you say exactly what your issue is, what you've tried. Within 10 minutes, even less, people have got answers for you, and they're genuine, they work. So it just eliminates all that just fluff. There's so much fluff out there that it's, and another thing is with all these other like people want to teach you like drop shipping and stuff. It's like I've signed up to a couple of them in the past, and they're just fluffy. There's nothing there. Whereas in the real world, it's all just direct, straight down. You've got the videos there, bang, click on the video, watch it. It shows you exactly how you do it. If you don't go off that path, you'll be fine.
Right. And then how did the Wins channel affect you? Did that have any impact?
Yeah, like the wins channel was like, sometimes you go in there and then you have a look. It's good to see everyone, like people smashing it. You look, like, that was the first thing I looked at when I signed up, like the wins, bang. I saw people killing it. And then there's times you see people making like consistently doing 10 grand a day. You're like, well, people are doing it. So it can be done. You just need to find that right product, or find that. even if it's, I don't know, I reckon it's, honestly, I don't think you can sell anything. That's my opinion. You can literally sell anything. It's how you market it is hands down the way to go. Like you could, it gets, I've seen that more and more now with just going viral and just doing like random stuff like with TikTok, ads, whatever. The way you can, if you can explain the product towards your avatar or to a target audience, whatever, like whatever you want to do, you could sell them anything.
Yeah.
You could literally sell them this bottle of water.
So
But yeah,
that sounds like
yeah,
a quite a big realization. So on the
yeah.
opposite side, what was the biggest mistake you made when first starting out?
Biggest mistake was not cutting off a product before it would like growing emotional to a product. I spent like, I think nearly, this is early days though. I spent like over like 2 or 3 months, like nearly 5 or 6 grand on ads for this one product. And that wasn't even close to breaking even, but I was so like in my head was like, it's the winner. It's the winning product, but it's not. You gotta cut that like emotion off it as soon as possible. When it's not working, just move on. Because it
Mhm.
does have a massive impact if you just keep going.
Mhm. Okay. And what were the three biggest lessons you've learned from your time in the real world? Would you be able to name three, or would you just want to do
Three,
the
three
biggest?
biggest
Yeah.
three biggest lessons was the impact of TikTok, because I wouldn't have felt myself, I wouldn't have felt the need to go post on TikTok if I hadn't have been, if I was in the real world. Because I wouldn't be looking at, it wouldn't even cross my mind. Because when you're a consumer of TikTok, you don't think about creating content. You just think about consuming it. So when you go to jump the scale to the other side, become a creator, that opened my eyes to massive stuff. And that was all through the real world. Because I was able, once I saw that, I was like, amazing. Another lesson was be open and genuine with your customers. Like that's a massive thing, I reckon. If they send you an email, as quick as you can reply to them, because that just, they love that. Like they love it. And if you got time, if there's a product that's malfunctioned or broken, whatever, don't even try to argue with them about getting it fixed. I just refund them, either refund them or send them a replacement, give them the option, and I'll do it within like 5 minutes. I'm not going to wait a day or whatever. I'll do it straight away. Because then you get like, that's happened to people, like a few customers, and then straight away the next week they want to buy something else. So they come straight back. They don't disown you. Like be honest and open with them as best you can. And then the third one would be, there's a lot of money out there that can be taken or be up for grabs. Like people are willing to buy a lot of things. Like I was blown away, like just seeing how something, like seeing how many, like you can get 4,000 store visits a day, and you get over 100+ orders. Like it's crazy. Like you think about 4,000 people, that's a lot of people, and they're on your store. Like that blew my mind. I always thought there was like one person on the internet at a time, but that's obviously wrong.
What advice would you have to people who are just starting out in the real world?
My honest advice would be patient at first. It's not going to happen overnight. Don't expect you to, within one day of being there, to be making 10 or 30K. It's not going to happen. It's just that like the best way to do it is take each step as it comes. Be patient with the process. Embrace every moment. Embrace every little task you do on your website, looking for products, whatever. Embrace all of that, because one day it will take off. And if you have this backing, this footing underneath you, when it does take off, you're not gonna fall. And like, don't be disheartened when you see other people succeeding and stuff, because they've probably put in a lot of work over the last like year, and it's their time to succeed. Your time will come. You just gotta be patient, be consistent with what you do. Don't chop and change. If you want to do ecom, focus on ecom, and then build that up to where you want to, and then jump and change to another campus or whatever you want to do. But just be focused on one thing at a time, and then just baby steps. Just learn different things. Watch, if you're going to jump in, watch all the lessons. Don't skip them. Don't fast forward to the videos, because if you find them boring, watch every little thing, and don't even do it once. I've watched videos probably I reckon nearly 4 times. I've gone through them again, and every time I watch it, I find something different that I missed on the first time, and I adjust that on my website, or I adjust that in my on my side or within me, I adjust it so it actually everything works.
Hmm.
That's yeah, that'd be my advice for everyone.
Yeah, and to follow up on that, a common misconception you see from people just starting out is they think they'll do copywriting, they'll earn maybe a few thousand from that, and then they'll go into ecom to then scale that. But why that doesn't make sense is because you put in, it takes about a few months to really get competent at that skill, whatever you're learning. So when you do earn those few thousand, at that point, you're competent in that skill, and it's so much easier to scale from there. Like going from making your
Yeah,
first few thousand to even like 10K a month could be a difference of 2 months or less. So it's not
yeah,
really worth then jumping around once you've learned that skill. So what you were saying,
yeah.
just fully commit, choose one kind of skill and just fully commit to it.
Me too, because I was at the start, I was sort of like that. I went through like I signed up for the copywriting, I did like the ecom, like all of them, and I was like trying to like learn all. I'm like, why am I trying to learn all of them? I should just learn one, make that one thing work. When that starts, when it's working, then I've got the time to jump back and then learn something else.
Mhm. And now that you're on this trajectory after having joined the real world, where do you see your life heading in 6 months to 1 year?
6 months, hopefully we just we actually would be nice if we kept the same consistent sale pattern. I want to scale up. I want to get my product out there, get it all properly branded, everything, and just really promote it as it is. Promote it as this device, this thing that's going to help people and make your life better. And then from that, change people's lives and actually help them, like help improve their life with everything. And then a year from now, look, I would love to crack. I would love to like it'd be awesome to be able to say I made my first million in the year. Like I know that some people might go, oh, it's a large goal, but it's actually not. If you can see what you can turn over in a making a day, it's doable. It just takes consistency.
So, not if you reach it, when you reach that goal, message me, let me know. We'll do a follow up interview.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
So, really appreciate your time. Before we go, where can people contact you or find out more about you?
You can go contact me on Instagram. So my Instagram is pretty basic. It's just Dana DiPaolo. So DanaDiPaolo. Yeah, it should be like the only profile with that name. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure.
Okay. So, really appreciate you coming on, and I wish you all the best. Goodbye.
Cool. Thank you for that.